Ryenn. Thanks for meeting with me today.
Hey Cassie, good to see you.
Always good to see you too. We're here to talk about your recent article, Why Am I Noticing Grief as I Plan for My Wedding Day? Which I thought was such an interesting topic. You hear we have lots of articles on like depression and anxiety and all these other topics, marriage. But like this is a unique take on the topic of marriage. So I'm excited to jump in.
Yeah.
So the first thing you talked about in your article was, just noticing the grief. And I just got excited. Like I just wanted to shout out to the people that are watching this video, that are reading this article, that they are allowing themselves to notice
Yes.
their emotions, because I think that's so important, and that's where the journey of healing and taking care of ourselves starts. So that's super cool.
It really is like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. You talk about how if you don't acknowledge your emotions, if you try to stuff them, if you just try to make them go away, pretend they're not there, then panic and anxiety, worry can set in, different things can set in. Why does that happen
Mhm.
when we try to avoid noticing our emotions or hope that they'll just dissipate?
Yeah. Our emotions are something that's so a part of us and so important. And when we push them away, which we've all been there, right? Like just trying to avoid it, like, oh no, here it comes again, like stuff it down. Like I think we all have can name at least one place, if not many, many more times where we've all done that. But our emotions, they're so a part of us. They want to be seen, they want to be heard. There's so much importance of them. And so when we ignore them, they're gonna be like, hey, I'm here, I'm here. I had a supervisor once say that if it's like you built this wall, it's like I don't want to notice the emotion, so I'm gonna keep it down. Well, they're just gonna keep knocking on the wall, keep knocking on the wall. And eventually they're gonna go down in the basement, lift some weights, and just come back stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger the more that we ignore them. And so we gotta acknowledge them, gotta take care of them so that they don't keep getting stronger and louder and blow up in our face
Yeah,
maybe someday.
totally makes sense. That's what happens when we're in those scenarios and something comes up and we like fly off the handle
Mhm.
about what in the situation was not really anything worth flying off the handle, but it's like those emotions that we've stuffed have gotten triggered up there and they are back with a vengeance.
The crying over the spilt milk kind of thing. Like, okay, like
Yes.
we're not really crying over spilt milk right now. Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, cool. One of the things that you said, which I loved, was like noticing grief is
Mhm.
normal. I
Mhm.
love that you just normalize that, because I think maybe there could be some guilt or like, maybe I have cold feet. Maybe this isn't the like it could easily spiral into something that it doesn't need to be. So tell us, like, when we're noticing this normal grief, what do we do with it?
Yeah, well, I think the whole part of this, the whole article was, I just wanted to make sure like that was normalized. Like it is such a happy and exciting thing, but I just that there is so much, so many other things going on in this like gigantic transition in your life, and so yeah, to your question, like, what do you do? Like, we gotta name it. We gotta take care of it. Just like, I mean, just like any other emotion that would come up, like the excitement or the joy, like we're gonna celebrate that. We're gonna like, talk about that and share that and experience that. Like, you want to do the same thing with the grief when and the sadness or the frustration around this big transition is naming it and then understanding how to take care of it, figuring out what is that next step for you, and that can look so different. But the first
Yeah,
naming it.
yeah. You also mentioned talking to a safe person about it, and that made me think, what is a safe person? Like, how would we know there's a safe person in our life that would be good to share these mixed feelings with?
Yeah. This is gonna be someone that you like really trust, like is going to be able to just care for those parts of you that you're curious about that maybe don't make sense to you, that's going to validate you and care for you and really point you in the direction that feels like holy and cared for. And I love this analogy around boundaries of like it's your yard, right? And so like if I have like my fence up, like the people that I'm going to like accept into my yard that I'm going to share life with, that I'm going to like is going to feel safe are people that I know that are also going to take care of my yard and my home and
Mm,
they're with me. They're not going to set fire to things. They're not going to like
yeah.
mess up the carpet. Like they're there to care for me too. And like just as I like want to care for myself. And so that's I think is our assessment of a safe person when we get
Yeah. Helpful to have those imagery ideas of how would this person take care of my stuff. Sometimes it's hard to let them, to assess whether they take care of our heart because that feels so
married.
personal. But we're like, would you at least take care of my property? That's a good
Right.
starting place for assessing that.
Yes.
You also mentioned, as you were talking a few minutes ago, that uh, someone might be feeling sadness or fear as well as grief. And talk to us a little bit about why we might be feeling these emotions that feel so contrary to the joyous occasion that we are preparing to engage.
Yeah. I mean, like I mentioned, it's a huge transition in life. And just like any transition, there's going to be like multiple feelings like associated with that, like an excitement for a new job, an excitement for like moving. I mean, all the things that can happen through a transition, but like getting married, like I mean, it can be moving. It can be like saying goodbye to certain people or certain
Yes,
things, less time for hobbies. I mean, just all the things that maybe you're giving up or transit or changing in some way when you get married. And so as you prepare for that wedding day, all those things kind of come up. And so yeah, like
yeah,
saying goodbye to people if you're moving out, moving away. Um, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
yeah. Yeah, and you talked in your article about the importance of saying meaningful goodbyes, like getting some closure around those seasons. It doesn't mean, you know, deuces, I'm never going to see you. But like goodbye to that person in that season and what that's looked like and how can that be helpful?
Yeah, just acknowledge again, going back and like naming what is happening and acknowledging like that there is change that is on the
Mm,
horizon. I think the thing about like a wedding day means that like okay, this is like the day, the start of like something new, right? And so like as you're in preparation, there's so many party like maybe there's like a bachelorette party or
yeah,
showers, like there's so many other like kind of like lead up things and like, why not have a day of like, oh my gosh, this is my last night with my roommates, or like a last
yeah,
weekend together, a last time being, a non-married like that is really a celebration of an acknowledgement of like the goodbye and like a change of status, of relationship status, um, of who you are, even like even as for women, like changing your name. I mean, there's
yes,
so many things that like it's just so much transition that's happening and so just very important to just acknowledge all the change that is occurring um and what that means.
yeah. I'm hearing again and again, naming it and like sharing that with the people that are, if it's something that just affects you, sharing it with your safe person. But if it's something that affects the other relationships in your life,
Yeah.
n- naming it with those people. And I love what you said practically, like you could even have a goodbye party. Like that can be a legitimate part of, sometimes we think about like when we're moving about goodbye parties, but like, do we ever think about goodbye parties in preparation for a marriage, a wedding? I've never heard of that, but I think that's a genius idea to just make a space that uh, isn't, you know, we're not trying to let these emotions like rule our lives. We're not sinking into something dangerous and bad. It's like really honoring them and really honoring that season and the people that were a part of it with you.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I appreciate you writing this article. I think it's going to be, when we were dialoguing about it internally, there was, just resonance among people that have talked about, yeah, I wish I would have had somebody that came alongside me and shared this with me because it felt like I didn't know what to do with it. So I love that you're coming alongside folks in this season and helping them hold all those emotions well.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly where my heart was as I wrote it. It was what I wanted to hear when I was going through that season too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for your time and I'll see you in the next one.
Sounds good. Bye.